Um, So, and the other thing that's causing a lot of these diseases is the close living quarters in these tent communities. It's just an absolute breeding ground for disease, and it's being spread from person to person like wildfire. So, the unfortunate thing is a lot of what we're doing. I said to one nurse, in a sense, I mean, it's like putting a Band-Aid on a hemorrhage, in a sense. I mean, we are truly just a Band-Aid on such a larger problem. But when we're talking at dinner tonight and kind of talking about our day, one thing that I said, and I think I might have mentioned this in a previous video, I know I mentioned in my journal, was that the focus of this trip, it can't be that. You can get so caught up so easily in what we're not doing, and the overwhelming devastation to the entire nation. How will this nation ever recover? But at the moment, you cannot think that way. When you're in the clinic, you have to, the mindset you have to have is, I'm treating this one patient at this one day, at this one time, and I can't give you a lot of Tylenol, but if I can even just relieve your pain just for a little bit, and relieve your suffering just for even a little bit, then that's better than nothing. So we have to kind of always continue to keep that in mind, that even though sometimes we don't know what we're prescribing, as far as, we don't know the exact dosage that should be prescribed, or, oh, is this right antibiotic going for this correct diagnosis? I mean, right now, we're all nurses here. We do not have a physician with us. We definitely would like one. We do not have a nurse practitioner with us. We do not have a pharmacist with us. We're going off of our experience, and that's it. And so we're doing the very best that we can, and we're trying to be cautious when we think that someone is pregnant, or if we're trying to treat a young child, we're definitely being cautious with that of what we're giving. We're just doing the best we can as far as that goes. Tomorrow, our group is going to likely, they said it's going to happen tomorrow, may or may not, is going to split up. 2 of us are going to stay behind at the clinic, and then 2 are going to go out into remote villages and just take 2 suitcases full of supplies, and when it's gone, it's gone. And then what we're going to do is we'll flip-flop then, so that each of us gets a chance to kind of go out of the compound and treat people where they're at. And these are people that do not have the means or access to walk here and get here, because they're too far on the outskirts to get even basic care. So we'll do the best we can for that. One thing that's been a little bit of a frustration on this trip, we've gotten a great education from Scott Lawn, our leader here. He's lived in Haiti personally for 4 years. He knows the language. He's got a mass amount of contacts in the area. He knows the people. He knows what needs to be done. And what we keep hearing is, and he gives us perfect examples of this too, the aid that's coming into Haiti is not being distributed correctly. We have these big relief organizations. God bless them that they want to be here and help, but the problem is they have not been on the ground long enough. They don't know the people, they don't know the needs, they don't know the locals, and they're not getting the aid out to the people like it needs to be, and they're not distributing it properly because they don't know how to distribute it. In fact, Scott ended up spending more money on tarps that were promised to him than if he could have just gone out and bought them himself. And this is supposed to be from a relief organization. So this was a few months ago in the aftermath of the earthquake. So it's unfortunate that these organizations and the governments and the money that Americans are giving isn't going to the locals. That is the absolute key, I'm convinced, just after being here for 2 days, of fixing this country. Scott was telling us today that if they had to, he could organize within 1 day, if we had the means and the money, which there certainly is the money that's there, but it's not being funneled to the right places, but he could single-handedly organize the distribution of 25,000 tents overnight, he was saying, because he knows so many different contacts, he knows so many different pastors in the area, so many different networking, so much networking of people that it could just get done in 1 day. And it's amazing to know how many people are still on the ground, sleeping on the ground, how many people are, in tarps. We just passed out tarps today to a bunch of people because they had still been sleeping just on sheets. That's all they had. They had no roof over their head whatsoever, and it's like raining every night here. So that to me is very sad, that there's so much bureaucracy involved in it, that in this aid distribution, that it's not getting to the people, which is ultimate. I know what Americans want to do. I know that everybody at home, you at home, wants to help with this cause. I know many of you have already helped with this cause, and I thank you already for your donations. But I would say the most important thing, if you're ever thinking about donating to Haiti or being involved, really make sure you know what organization you're giving to, and especially, you know, if there are organizations like Mission E4, New Life, or New Mission, excuse me, places like that that have been on the ground for years and years and years, they're small. They're not these multinational organizations like the Red Cross or like Doctors Without Borders or Mission, USAID or anything like that. But it's these small groups that know how to get the job done and can get it done right away. And what they'll do on top of it is they'll put these Haitians to work. They will give them jobs. They use part of that money to put them to work, and that's what we need. We as Americans are here helping out, which is great for the week, because we can get, maybe a big project like this done, in a week, and try to get the word out back home, and for the need here, and us as nurses, we have 4 nurses here. Well, normally they only have 2, so we are able to see a lot more patients in this 1 week. But really, the key to solving this problem is going to be hiring Haitians to do the work. It's going to give them a job, give them food on the table, and give them pride in their own country and rebuilding their own nation. And that's not what's being done with these large organizations. That's what's being done with these smaller organizations. So I'm not saying that everything that these large organizations are doing is bad. Please don't get me wrong. And for anybody watching out there who is part of one of these large organizations, I'm not trying to say that at all. I'm just saying we've seen through the eyes of these small organizations that have been on the ground for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, that know the people, that know the landscape, that know all this, that have all these contacts, that are talking to the locals about all this, and it's not getting done, unfortunately, the way we want it to be done, the more, to be efficiently done. So if there's any frustration, that probably the one frustration that I've had of just kind of knowing that fact. But despite all this, there is hope for this country. I'm going to talk a little bit more tomorrow about our interpreters I worked with. I worked with one specifically named Emmanuel, and I'd like to share his story a little bit, but I'll save that for another entry. I think I'm going to kind of wrap up this video for today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for praying for us, for your thoughts. On our trip here, it's just definitely appreciated. We can definitely feel your prayers. We've had no medical issues really so far we can speak of, and everything, for the most part has gone all right. We've had little bumps in the road, but nothing really significant. So we praise God for that, and we just hope that will continue throughout the week. All right, thanks everybody.